Following the NASCAR Cup Series weekend at North Wilkesboro, people have started to look at the 2027 Cup Series schedule. Now, things picked up when Mike Burch, who is the Speedway Motorsports CEO, was on the Gluckcast. And he noted that there is going to be racing at Dover in 2027, something in which a lot of people have speculated that wasn't going to happen. And he pushed back on the idea that the track is in decline and cited strong ticket sales and corporate support. More on that in a minute. Then we have Freddie Kraft on Door Bumper Clear, who said the 2027 All-Star race will likely be at a SMI track other than Bowman Gray, with New Hampshire or Nashville floated and a rotating approach expected, and that he hopes it does not return to North Wilkesboro. More on that in a minute. Now, Dale Earnhardt Jr. said that hearing what he's heard is the San Diego road course will likely return in 2027, possibly as a 2-year deal, while Kevin Harvick hoped that it would stay as a one-off. More on that in a minute. Okay? These are very interesting situations because every year, especially around this time, talk about the 2020 whatever season starts to come about. What are they going to be doing next year? What tracks are they going to be adding? What tracks are they going to be changing? If there's going to be a removal of a track, what is going to replace it? Why is it being removed, etc., etc. Now, let's start off with old Mike Burch with Speedway Motorsports talking about Dover, talking about how the track is in decline, that the ticket sales are down, attendance is down, and overall Dover is an abomination of a racetrack that should be blown up and taken off the face of the earth. Sorry, is that too strong? I understand that they took a risk, if you want to call it that, by putting Dover in the 2026 All-Star slot in the middle of a day, and it was basically a full race. A little bit of tweak here and there with the format. There's a reason this had like a noon start time, at least Central Time, for fans. NASCAR had it on the schedule. They wanted to get it over with. They had to fulfill that date. They fulfilled the date. They moved on with the date. We don't want to talk about the date. It never happened. That's kind of the belief with Dover. And a lot of people thought they were not going to bring it back in 2027. I felt like they should not bring it back in 2027. I think that it had run its course. It's not a very good track. It hasn't really been a good track, I don't know, for decades at this point, if not my entire life. Let's move along. Let's talk about the All-Star race, kind of segueing out of Dover. Everyone and their mother basically agreed, yeah, Dover probably shouldn't be held as the hosting All-Star racetrack. Not only is it not at night, which goes pretty much against the idea of the All-Star race for, I don't know, the last 30 years. But then, okay, he's talking about, well, New Hampshire has been floated. I don't really like that either. I don't think New Hampshire and balls to the wall, have at it, boys type racetrack. I just don't. I think of it like as a summer racetrack that they just throw on the schedule and people eat lobster if they win. Nashville. I'm not opposed to Nashville. You can run it at night. So sure, if you want to do that. The rotating approach, which is expected, I think that is optimal. I think that is probably more realistic. I think fans shouting to the heavens that the race should go back to Charlotte, I think they're 100% right. I agree with that sentiment. I think that would be the best case scenario. Here's the problem. I don't think that is what NASCAR wants to do. I think NASCAR knows they are in a different place and a different time. And so you have two problems potential that you hold a all-star race at Charlotte. Either no one is going to show up because they do not want to pay NASCAR's ticket prices to the all-star race when they could just be saving for the next weekend with the Coke 600. Or they're afraid that it will hurt ticket sales for both races because either fans will either feel like they pick and choose, some fans feel like they can't go to either, or it will dilute what is the Coke 600. Okay, I guess you could go with that. From a team standpoint, it being right in their backyard. From a fan's point of view, you come in and have a 2-week vacation at the start of summer. I think that is more realistic. I think that is more ideal. And I think that is something that NASCAR should do. But there is some issues with NASCAR trying to get this thing to other tracks. In my opinion, all-star races or all-star races or games, whatever you want to call it, whether it's NASCAR, whether it's NFL, whether it's NBA, whatever the case may be, I feel like the all-star thing is such an outdated concept because the level of athletes have been increased to such a great degree that every game, every race is an all-star race, especially when you put damn near the entire field in the NASCAR Cup Series in the race. Why does it make a difference? And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but $1 million back in 1989 or 1992 or 1998 or 2004 was a lot of money. It's not a lot of money right now. Have you seen inflation? So I don't think it has the same sentiment. Now, if they put $10 million on the line, sure, we might have more excitement, but I don't know if we're necessarily going to go balls to the wall for this. And you also have to look at it from a team's standpoint. They're not getting any points for entering this race. So what's the point of putting resources in, putting money in, if they're not going to get a huge recoup in their investment, right? Especially from a monetary standpoint. Then you have the San Diego Naval Base race. I have no problem with this race coming back. Some people liked it. Some people didn't like it. I think NASCAR definitely wants to have a race in California. Totally get it. It's a huge, huge state, huge population. And historically speaking, NASCAR fans have come out and showed out with their support for the NASCAR Cup Series. So you have everything there. I can see why they would want to do that. Will they come back and do it? Probably. Kevin Harvick saying that he wanted it to be a one-off. I understand where he's coming from. But at the same time, I think you have to be realistic with where NASCAR wants to go. They want to be in California, and rightfully so. So I have no problem with that if they end up doing that. But we will see ultimately what they end up doing. I don't think there's going to be a lot of massive changes to the schedule based off of, what they did in 2026. I think it'll probably be a rehash of it. They may change some dates around. They've done that historically. Obviously, the number one thing that everyone thinks of is bring back speed weeks. I doubt they'll do that. I think Bowman Gray is pretty much here to stay. It's local. Obviously, weather's not ideal, but it is what it is. I think a lot of people want Daytona to go back for the 4th of July weekend. I think that would be brilliant, but I don't expect it. Let me know down in the comments there below. What other changes do you expect? Do you want to see? There you go.